Well, good morning. It's day 2, leg 2, and we stayed the night in Addlethorpe at a place called the King's Head. It was quite acceptable. It's clean, and nice meal in the evening. Fish and chips we had, so worth a look. We're now in Chapel St Leonard's, and it's very, very cold this morning. We've got a chilly headwind, and I guess we're going to have that all the way up the coast. Forecast is for the cloud to roll away towards the east. It might hover over the east coast, which is obviously where we are, so we shall see. Today's leg is going to be 70 miles. We're going all the way up the coast to Cleethorpes, then we turn inland and we end up in Brigg for the night.
So where are we near?
Oh, that's a good gate. All right, we need a bit more work on the gate, guys.
Work in progress.
It's not really worked. Well, they just told me to fit the gate. They didn't tell me it had got to open. There's the North Sea.
We made it. Whew. Oh, is this the path they were talking about, which gets a bit sandy?
Now, we originally planned the route to use this path, but Bruce rode it and said there's an awful lot of sand on it, and you can see it is there.
Yeah, if you've got bags on.
Worse in places, so I think it's a case of if you fancy riding through sand, do so. But as Bruce said, if it gets into your bearings, it's like grinding paste. And this looks interesting. It's some sort of wetland habitat, I think they're building, and there's a excellent path all the way through it. Doubt we'll be able to cycle on that, but it's going to be great for bird watchers. Look quite Chinese, don't they? Japanese.
Very unusual.
Well, this is where the route takes to the coastal path, and it's nicely sand free because it's obviously well above the beach.
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside, but it's bloody cold and freezing and windy.
That wasn't very enthusiastic, was it?
No. Oh, this is just not quite summer, is it, at the moment?
20th of May. But I guess, you know, in a few more hours we'll probably be complaining it's too hot.
I did put my suntan cream on this morning. I think I should put a wind cream on.
Yeah. Right, we come off it again here.
Oh, well, it was short-lived.
There's lots of information here about Lincolnshire. In the wartime there were radar sites here, and of course Mike Ainsworth has created a number of routes that will take you specifically around these sites, give you lots of information. And they're of course on the King John Way website. Well, we've left the coast behind for a little bit, but we'll rejoin it again at Cleethorpes. There wasn't much to see along there, Sutton-on-Sea and Mablethorpe, because of the high bank. So it's worth having a look to see if the coast path is free of sand, because it'll be a much more pleasant ride. But we've now got the sun's coming out, still got this wind, but it's not as cold. And then we're heading to Cleethorpes, and then we'll turn inland, turning west, so we'll get some tailwind hopefully. Well, we've had our first problem of the day, in that we've come up to a road closed, and we've not managed to work our normal charm because they are tarmacking the road and there's no way through. So unfortunately we're now on a detour. Now, a 70-mile day is going to probably turn into 80.
Yeah.
So we shall see where it takes us.
It's our own fault. We were saying how good the roads were, weren't we?
Yeah. The Wahoo has turned into a blue line, so it's rerouting.
And the Garmin says make a U-turn.
Yeah, that's what Garmin just bails out, doesn't it?
It does, rather.
But before I get comments, not all Garmin's, it's the later ones don't, but Wendy's one does. Well, we're back on the route now. That detour, I think, added about 6 miles. So we've done 31 miles and we've got 47 to go.
Wow.
So that's going to be, what, 78?
You mean we're not even halfway?
No. And you reckon we got hills. So you'll get a grand fondue. And tomorrow.
With the NCN sign I've seen for a while.
I'm surprised it's not one. Haven't seen a dog walker yet. Oh. Alright, thank you. Isn't it funny? You make a comment and it happens.
Umba. Wave to my sister. Oh, they sign it here. They didn't sign it earlier, did they?
Well, thankfully we're approaching Cleethorpes now. It's quite hard, that last bit. That detour was a little bit too much. We've still got 30 miles to go, so we've got a fair bit to do, but we shall do it. So Cleethorpes sits on the Humber estuary, so we can see the other side there. That's Yorkshire.
Roy, cafe. Roy, cafe. Oh.
Sand. Yeah, careful. Yes, no heavy cornering on here. Everyone's on the beach.
How wonderful.
It's probably school kids, yeah. Well, we've left Cleethorpes behind. Coming out of Cleethorpes, fairly busy, but For those that are a little bit nervous, maybe use the cycleways. They're a bit bitty, like most cycleways are. They stop and they start, but they're quite useful. But obviously if you're more confident, then the road's not too busy. We came along there at school run time and it was getting busy, but I don't think it would be otherwise, although it might be in holiday season. And now, after a fairly flat day so far, we've got 20 miles left and we are now into a bit of climbing. I think since Cleethorpes we've just climbed about 300 feet. We think we've got about another 300 feet left to climb. But it's beautiful now, we're out in the countryside.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Lovely,
stunning,
isn't it?
Some beautiful views across the Humber estuary and things.
And I have to say, and I know Wendy will agree because we were talking about it, these BiKom 20 intercoms are absolutely amazing.
It's superb.
What time did we leave this morning?
8:15.
8:15. And what's the time now?
6.5 hours ago.
6.5.
Yeah, something like that. That's
And
what
they're
my
still
time
going
says.
strong.
Yeah.
So we
Maybe a
certainly
bit
should
more
get
than
the 8 hours they advertise, which is fantastic. But we've had a couple of times today where I've been sort of taken up with the surroundings and Wendy's called ahead and said, oh, there's a turning coming up, you're going to miss it. And before these I would have probably missed it and she'd have been shouting at me to turn back. So yeah, really, really impressed. Now I know there are cheaper ones on the market. I think they tend to work on Bluetooth. But you know, whatever you decide to go for, it's a pretty good investment, I would say. But with Sena, you've obviously got their pedigree of working with the motorcycle industry. They're quite demanding. Of course, what this climbing does give you are fantastic views. Well, we're just coming up to 65 miles in, 13.8 miles to go. Are you feeling it?
Yeah,
So am I.
definitely. Yeah, I'm really getting tired now. Yeah.
The day started off very chilly
Yeah.
and the headwind. Now it's 22 degrees. It's the equal and opposite.
Totally.
I think the thing that messed us up was that diversion.
Yeah.
I think it must have added about 6 miles.
Definitely done without that.
Now with only 13 miles to go, I think I can be a little bit brave and say so far the rain has stayed off. There was threatened thunderstorms. Hopefully they'll stay away. So 938 feet of climbing now, Wendy.
Ooh,
So there shouldn't be much
shouldn't
more.
be much more, no. In theory.
So what have you thought to this route so far?
I've loved it. I think the bit after Mablethorpe, all those straight sections of roads got a bit tedious.
They did.
There weren't many villages to break it up and, you know, have a look at houses and everything, so.
I think the section along up to Mablethorpe was pretty boring.
Yeah, yeah, because you can't
big
see the
seawall.
sea, can you? You
No,
know,
but
Roman bank, yeah.
if in the summer we hope they clean that sand up,
Yeah,
you
that'd
can
be
ride
good.
the coastal path.
I thought Cleethorpes was nice. I liked the way we came into Cleethorpes.
Yes, I thought that
along
was
the
good.
front and everything. I really enjoyed that.
Well, that little off-road section that took us up to the seafront, that was one of Richard's suggestions. right here, right.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was enjoying that.
Well, we just arrived in Brig, pretty little town actually, although everywhere's one way, and we were warned by Richard Lake, don't ride in the no ride areas because they'll fine you. So we've done it. And we're staying the night in the Lord Nelson. Don't know what it's like yet, but Wendy's gone in to check it out. We can't take the bikes into the room here, but they say they've got a lockable yard, so that's what we're going to do. Now, where we left the old railway at Harby, talked about Queen Eleanor, once the Trent Vale Trail's open and we join it up to this, you'll be able to ride all the way from that railway to where we are now, off-road. And it goes through a beautiful nature reserve. Now, obviously for the road route, we're not sending them that way, but for the touring route, I think you'll enjoy it.